I don't know if Hollywood's the example they think they are.
Not right now.
Not right now.
No, they're being exposed. Sharon, why
Yes.
do you think Hollywood is being exposed? I mean, all of a sudden it's just,
That's a good
everything
question.
is exposed.
You know, that's a really interesting question. And I think the first thing I would say is that we know that the Bible says that the things done in secret will be exposed.
Yeah.
I think that relates not only to the very end times themselves, but I think it also relates to the beginning of sorrows as we're heading into now.
Yes.
As far as Weinstein is concerned,
Mm-hmm.
I think that somewhere along the line he failed to play ball with somebody, because the things he did are no different than many other casting directors do and continue to do. There are well-paid actors and actresses who behave in ways that are reprehensible. I spent a little bit of a time in my 20s in that world, and I can tell you from personal experience, you get asked to do all sorts of really awful things. And if you are willing to sell yourself, essentially prostitute yourself in order to get a part, then you will do it. The Lord spoke to me and said, no, you do not do that. I've got other things for you to do. But sadly, there are lots of very hungry men and women who are sometimes only 12, 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to this casting director, and he or she says, I would love to give you this part. You're perfect for it. This will make your career. But can you go to this party I'm having and meet some of the investors? And while they're at the party, they are either intimidated into behaving in ways that are absolutely inappropriate. They're essentially assaulted.
Yeah.
Or they are given drugs or alcohol that causes them to be less inhibited. Therefore, they participate in ways that they think are willing.
That's right.
In the cases of minors, sometimes the parents are colluding in this behavior because the parents want that child to be famous.
Yep.
Becoming famous in this world has become more desirable than being good, than being moral. And we as a church have fallen asleep at the switch on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need to teach our children and our grandchildren how they should behave. And if we don't understand the Bible, we don't have the tools it takes to teach them. So back to the Bible is the first step. And I am so glad that these things are being brought up in conversation on social media. But essentially, this has been going on for millennia.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a reason that all of us of our age are familiar with the phrase the casting couch.
Yes,
Yeah.
very
We
much.
know what that means. It's a
Yes.
euphemism.
Yeah.
You understand what that means. So this is not new.
No.
I think Sharon's absolutely right.
I bet
Harvey
if you
Weinstein-
Googled that or you did that to the encyclopedia, you would come up with a definition that we all know of casting
Sure.
couch.
And if you
It's
search
that
it on the
well
web,
known.
you would probably turn up pictures that you shouldn't show, to your
But
children.
who is the blame?
Exactly right.
The biggest blame probably of changing the morals of the United States of America, changing the very essence
That's right.
of the United States.
Hollywood.
It's Hollywood
Yes.
and New York and those who are producing television
Yes.
and motion pictures.
Yes.
They've literally, inch by inch, changed the morals of this country until the kids believe that anything goes and that we have a different America than we did when some of you were a kid 30, 40, 50 years ago even.
And the thing is, though, even though the entertainment that we see on screen 50, 60 years ago is much more innocent and wholesome, the fact is that the people who were getting the parts in those programs back then still had to go through, many of them, had to go through the casting couch.
Yeah.
Hollywood has been Babylon for a very, very long time.
Yes.